From Floyd Stadium in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, it's time for the 5A state title game. It's the defending champions from Ravenwood against the Smyrna Bulldogs. Well, here's the road that got these two teams here. For Ravenwood, 4 consecutive road victories. That doesn't happen very often. And in Smyrna's case, a huge 9-7 win against the perennial power, Riverdale. Good evening, everybody. George Plaster, Nashville Kats coach Pat Sperduto, Willy Daunic to bring you all the action. We think we've got a good game. Pat, one of the reasons, starting with Smyrna, is a quarterback, Sonny Gray.
There's been a long line of great quarterbacks to come out of Smyrna High School, but this guy might be the best. Sonny Gray, 20 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. He's the guy, pulls the trigger, and he's got some fantastic people to throw to.
Now, Willie, I don't think Ravenwood gets cheated at all either. Michael Becker's pretty darn good, both running and throwing.
Almost 2,100 all-purpose yards. He was injured early in the season. The team got off to a 1-3 start, but since he's been at the helm, it's been smooth sailing. Only 1 loss since then, and they like to get him outside of the pocket where he's most effective.
And now to the Beeman Pontiac GMC keys to the game. Let's begin with Smyrna.
Smyrna, it's a balanced attack. They have a 1,000-yard rusher in Maceo Harris. They got to mix it up and stay composed. Don't just be happy getting here. I know you beat Riverdale to get here. Hey, it's your time.
And for Ravenwood, they love to bring the blitz. They will bring it from a lot of different places and laying down the Laidlaw. Laidlaw is the good running back. He can get it done.
Starting lineups and the opening kickoff are coming up next. Well, it is a crisp, cool December evening in Murfreesboro as we get ready for the 5A title game. Just a few seconds away from the opening kickoff between the defending champions, Ravenwood, who at one point this year were 1-3, and Smyrna, who had a heck of a playoff run to get here. Now, they may have the shirts off early. The question is, will they have them off later on? Let's head to the coaching matchups. Philip Shadowitz, 13th season at his alma mater, 100 victories on the button. And over on the other side at Ravenwood, Brian Rector, 32 years old, and he's done a great job. We begin with a very short kick and a tackle at the 33.
I'm seeing a lot of kicks that have kicked short intentionally for the fair catch.
Let's go down to the field, the 4th member of our crew tonight. Here's Rachel Bernard. Rachel?
Hey, the Smyrna coach, Philip Sperduto, says that his players can be playing with a lot of confidence tonight, especially winning over Riverdale and Ooltewah. But he says, don't worry, the kids understand that the past is the past, and what really matters is right now, and that's the focus of today's game. Back to you guys.
Okay, you see Ravenwood as the home team with the orange uniforms, or I guess some form of red if you want. That's Michael Becker. He will keep it himself, and the linebacker Josh Daly will get him down. The best one tire and service starting lineups. These are the 5 that will handle the football for the most part. Corey Laidlaw is the son of former Dallas Cowboy Scott Laidlaw. It's a senior-dominated offensive line, 4 of the 5 up front playing their final game. This is Corey Laidlaw. He's got a first down, and he's got a whole lot more, all the way to the Smyrna 47.
Right here, this is our guy, Corey Laidlaw, laying down the Laidlaw right there. What a cutback. Really, he has been the spark for this team.
Well, he got a great hole to run behind. They're going to do a lot of times what you see with Vince Young and the Titans. Shotgun with Laidlaw to the right of the quarterback, and they'll option sometimes. The quarterback will keep it quite a few times as well, and there's the keeper.
And Becker got short yardage that time. Jonathan Wilcox from Smyrna was the man making the tackle. And speaking of that defense, up front you have Martin, Sutherland, Wilcox, and King. King being by far the best of those 4. The linebackers are very good. Josh Day, their leading tackler. And the back 5, you'll notice, in a 4-2-5 alignment, Hendricks, Crouch, Wilkes, Craig, and Martin Again, a 4-2-5 is what Smyrna will run, and whatever they ran there, Corey Laidlaw didn't get a whole lot because Sutherland kind of stuffed him.
They ran zero coverage, which means everybody's man-to-man. They said, we'll line up man-to-man on you, and we'll bring the safety up in the box, run at us now.
The defensive line for Smyrna has really been their ticket. In the win against Ravenwood, where they reversed a 49-0 loss from last year, the defensive line was just outstanding.
Michael Becker, a year ago, more of a wide receiver than a quarterback because of T.C. Jennings. We'll find out early, though, what kind of a passer he is. 3rd and 7, could not escape the rush, and down he goes back at his 45.
It goes back to what Willie said in the open. They got to bring the house. They brought the house there, and it paid dividends.
Josh Day gets the sack there. He is no stranger to the backfield. Now watch 45 coming right through the middle. He busts through and just will not be blocked. Right there, and that is his 19th sack of the season. Whew. 19.
That's serious.
That's Mark Gastineau kind of stuff. Michael Strahan.
That's better.
That's
going way back there with
well,
that.
That's major league no matter how you do it. Josh Wilkes on the kick, and this is a pretty decent roll, and it'll back Smyrna up to its 17. And so Ravenwood, first series, they get a first down, but then they're stalled. And so now we're going to see the Smyrna offense led by the junior Sonny Gray. Pat, you've seen him a couple of times this year. Let's just take a look at the starting lineups here. First of all, Maceo Harris, he's a young man you better pay attention to. More than 1,300 yards rushing the football. James Williams has signed with Vanderbilt at 6'7", 305. He's a house. Sonny Gray goes right to work. Long ball, and he overthrows his intended receiver near midfield. Taking a look at Ravenwood defensively, here's the way they stack up. They'll go with a 3-5-3 defensively. Williams, Johnson, Kilcrease. The linebackers are really good, Kleckner being the best of those, with 100 tackles on the season. And the back three are Ford, Corbin Carl, and George Tanifan.
And they'll get tested tonight. Those guys there will get tested because they have a dominant receiver for Smyrna, Wilkes.
That ball's loose on the ground, and Ravenwood thinks they have it.
No, do they? Yes, they do.
Ravenwood has come up with the football, the first early break of the game to the defending champions.
I like this Ravenwood defense. They're aggressive. They make plays. A miscommunication in the handoff, and there they come swarming on there. And I think is it Presley? Adam Presley with the recovery.
Just a fumbled exchange, unforced turnover there. That's something you can ill afford to do in a state championship game.
Absolutely.
And so now let's see if Ravenwood can cash in. Laidlaw to the outside and to about the 12. Pretty good game tackle.
I had a chance to talk to Coach Rector a couple nights ago, and one of the things I asked him is the way Corey Laidlaw kind of came on. I said, well, why didn't he play that much? I saw them early in the year twice, and he didn't play a ton. And he said he was hurt. We really weren't sure how hurt he was, but once he became healthy, he made the difference.
As you see, they go trips left on 2nd and 5, and then they run Laidlaw that way, and he's first and goal to the 2.
This Ravenwood crowd is jacked up on the near sideline. A great chance to grab the momentum. You can see the wall of blockers. They really do a good job, Pat, of sealing that defensive line to the inside.
And you got to remember, 4 of these offensive linemen, they were here last year. They know what it takes to win a championship.
Timeout. We've got an injured player down on the field, and it looks like it's Antoine Hendricks.
And that would be
about the 2.
That would be a big loss because he's a very good football player.
Well, the first early break of the game goes to Ravenwood. Smyrna fumbled the football, and I didn't get the chance to ask you. You saw the replay. I tell you what, we'll come back and talk about it in a moment. We're almost 4 minutes in Ravenwood knocking on the door. We're scoreless early. Mid-state battle that has attracted the largest 5A crowd that we've seen in the 4 years we've done this.
The Mid-State is 0-4 in the first 4 games. They will definitely avoid it this time around.
The eastern part of the state, namely the Knoxville area, very dominant in these games so far.
First and goal. Laidlaw, his 15th touchdown of the season. And he gets Ravenwood on the board almost 4 minutes in.
I told you, I like Corey Laidlaw. I think he's been the difference. We talked about Becker's injury, and Becker got healthy. You said it best. It was smooth sailing, but I guess the way Corey Laidlaw jumped on the scene and became their feature back has helped this football team.
The extra point, dead center. Ravenwood takes advantage of the turnover. Let's take a look at how they scored it.
Simple bread and butter play that they've used a lot this year. You can see the hole was there. They tried that left side of the line, back-to-back runs interrupted by the injury. But look at the push on the left side. No problem, no contact until the goal line.
How about the offensive line? Thompson at 270, 6'5", Stansfield 235, Witherspoon 270, Haberlin at 260, and Snowenboss at 225.
Thompson in particular, from his position, really kicked his man out and opened up the big hole.
And really, this is what, if you're Brian Rector, this is how you want to start the game. Not having to put a lot of pressure on your quarterback, get that running game going, get the big uglies doing what they enjoy.
So this is the opposite of what we saw in the first meeting between these two teams, where Ravenwood really stole one at Smyrna. They were down 12-0 with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Scored, got an onside kick, and scored again. So they were playing from behind in the first meeting. And all I heard all week was how different both of these teams have been since then. It was early in the season. Both teams have gotten a lot better.
No doubt. I saw Smyrna week 0, and I thought they were dominant. Then they kind of struggled. Now it's all the way to the championship game.
Ravenwood up 7-0 early. They've got to be thrilled just simply not to be on the road. 4 straight road games in the playoffs. It didn't stop them a lick. Lopez, low line drive kick. Rodriguez from the goal line. And the return, a short one to the 17. Here's a little bit of what goes on between these two schools. Their enrollments are very similar. Their records indicate they both belong here. But look at that playoff appearance for Smyrna. They've been here 12 times in the past, 95 being their best run. And of course, a year ago, Ravenwood with T.C. Jennings as their quarterback went all the way and scored the upset win.
But don't forget, this is their 3rd appearance in only 5 years of the school's existence.
Smyrna puts it on the ground this time, and they get really good yardage. They may well have gotten the first down to the 28.
So Antoine Hendricks not injured too bad on that last play shy of the goal line. So he bounces back and he gets the best carry of the game so far for Smyrna.
They really have 2 good backs. Macy O'Hara's, when they want to give him a break, Hendricks comes in. You know, their offense is very impressive. It's not just all Sonny Gray and Rodriguez Wilkes.
Yeah, Hendricks is the second part of that duo. More than 800 yards. They do get the first down, and oh my goodness. What a smack in the middle. Pat Sperduto almost climbed out of the booth trying to sign Alex Barnes to play for the Cats.
That's what you call a run dog.
I think we have to listen to this one, Pat.
Wow. Zip code? Can you give me that zip code? Where am I right now?
That was not exactly room service.
Oh, they got contact.
Got a little anxious there. Looks like it was one of the better players on Ravenwood. Paul Kleckner, their linebacker, who's really their leading tackler. He jumped.
Ball foul, encroachment, red, 5 yards, 2nd down.
Pat, you got them too stirred up there after that big hit.
I know, they're all excited. Hey, one thing about Kleckner, here's another funny story. Early in the year, they played him at middle linebacker. That's not his position. He needs to head back to that will linebacker where he can make a difference.
There's what Willie and Pat were talking about earlier. In week 4 of the season, it was a game Ravenwood had to win, and they rallied in the last 6 minutes to do it. Sonny Gray went down more because of the turf than because of Bo Gilroy. Gilroy, a sophomore and a small linebacker at 6'1", 170, but a very active one of those. I mentioned earlier, Pat, Ravenwood will go with 5 linebackers. How do you make that work?
Well, one of them is really like a hero back or a strong safety. He kind of plays to the 2 receiver side or the strength side. He's a strong safety that just plays up tight. That's all they're doing.
Smyrna needs 5. Gray to the sideline, good for a first down. Past the 40 to the 42-yard line.
This is the antidote for Smyrna. If Ravenwood decides we're going to play one free, we're going to go one-on-one, put one guy in the middle, bring all these guys up, that's the antidote. Get the mismatch. Wherever Rodriguez Wilkes is, that's the mismatch. He knows, Sonny Gray knows where his bread's buttered.
And you know that you've got a good quarterback when he can make that type of throw. Look at the zip on that ball. Sonny Gray, one of the better arms in the state.
And the ball comes up before the cut.
Well, you could take one look at him and see he's a passer. They go to Hendricks. He has good yardage. He's inside Ravenwood's 40 to the 36 before Gilroy and Presley bump him out of bounds. Big yardage on first down.
How about the block by Rodriguez Wilkes? Comes back after a catch. You get him into the game. You get him feeling good. Watch the block on the perimeter. It's going to be a 6-7 yard game. But watch, Rodriguez Wilkes is fighting his DB. That's another 6-7 yards. Big play.
That Smyrna sideline pumped up. That crowd is so happy to be sitting in those stands. So many years they could not get past Riverdale in the playoffs, making the playoffs every year. But it's so tough to get out of that region, and here they are.
How about Ravenwood just tempting them again?
Gray, this time will try to roll out of the pressure. He's got some running ability and made a good move to get the final 3 or 4. Kess Carter, the middle linebacker, if you will, of those 5, stops him, but a gain of 5.
I just can't believe that Ravenwood's going to say, hey, we're going to run one free, too bad, go ahead, try to beat us.
Well, already, what you're seeing a lot is the mobility of Sonny Gray, but it's more him dictating early on. In the last game against Ravenwood, they really forced him to move where they wanted to go. They had all kinds of pressure on him.
Smyrna trying to answer Ravenwood's score. Ravenwood took advantage of a turnover very early, cashed in to go up 7-0. Gray loops it for Wilkes. He's got it for the touchdown.
What did I say, Willie?
Pat, you have been saying it the whole drive. Watch where the safety is. There's one safety deep, and he is on the other side of the field from Wilkes. This sets up a dead one-on-one, and I'll tell you what, Gray put it right on the money.
Before the play, I pointed to Willie. I said, right here at the bottom is the mismatch. I knew it for sure. Rodriguez Wilkes, I told you, like Randy Moss, just throw it up and let the big fella go get it.
The extra point is missed. You saw it from that angle. It was wide to the left. But before we go out, let's take a look at the touchdown again.
And they've had trouble in that kicking game, but here it is. You can't see it here, but Wilkes one-on-one is a very favorable matchup. Gray does a good job of recognizing it before the snap. There was no help from the safety because he was shaded to the other half of the field. That's one thing you have the luxury of if you're Smyrna, because you have really good threats on both sides of the field with your wide receiver.
Especially Wilkes, you're talking about a mismatch. George Tanafin Jr., 5'10", 180, and Rodriguez Wilkes is 6'2", 195, just a physical specimen. You can't press him. If the safety can't get over the top, you can go vertical all night.
In the first matchup, and again, we're going to refer to it a lot because it was a tight game, and you get a good read for what each team has. Smyrna missed both extra points, and that's why they led only 12-0 instead of 14-0 in the final minutes, which allowed Ravenswood to come back with a couple of scores late in the game.
Did I hear somebody say defensive duel?
No way. I think this will be a shootout. I think you'll see probably about 800 total yards tonight.
Well, if you look at what both teams have done in the playoffs, especially Ravenwood, they've had a lot of shootouts that they've won.
And Brian Rector's not afraid. He'll play it any way you want to play. One thing I talked a lot about George Quarles in the last game. I think Brian Rector's the same type of coach. He'll roll the dice a little bit as a riverboat gambler. He'll play it close to the vest. All he cares about is the W. Just stamp the W.
Michael Hosford will kick off for Smyrna. Boy, they had a nice answer. 83 yards in 7 plays. They do miss the extra point. And now the short kick. And a pretty darn good return to the outside gives Ravenwood excellent field position to the 41.
Michael Ayers on the return. He has got some really good speed. He's a decathlete, Pat. He has won the decathlon the last 2 years in the sprint fling. So you know he can do a lot of good things. You have to be a pretty darn good all-around athlete to win the decathlon.
He's an outstanding receiver, but he really has that speed. Once he knows he's got the point on the edge, he gets a great return and gives them a decent field position in order to play with the short field. And we got a guy uncovered. Nope, here comes Wilkes.
4-wide receiver package. They're going to run the reverse to Ayers. Ayers is in a lot of trouble and finally goes down at the 38. From the very beginning, you didn't like the chances at all, and it's about a 5-yard loss.
Hey, he avoids catastrophe because that could have been a lot worse if he wasn't fast.
You know, I was thinking the same thing, Pat. Right here, you're thinking disaster if you're Ravenwood.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
about 15 yards behind the line, so a loss of 1 is not the worst thing in the world.
No.
He ran a long way
isn't.
to lose 1.
Hey, you know what? It could have been a loss of 12 or 13, which would have ended this drive immediately.
But it does kind of set up a throwing down. 2nd and 13. Becker to the sideline, good shot, and very close to the first down, and the final lunge may have gotten them right to that marker.
Pat, already what we're seeing is much more accuracy by both quarterbacks. It was a very windy night the first go-around. Both quarterbacks struggled, and both quarterbacks tonight have really made some impressive throws.
I'm going to tell you right now, I've seen Ravenwood twice. I saw them against Brentwood Academy and against Brentwood High School. Michael Becker is at his best when he's moving east and west and throwing the football. He is not a pocket passer. And one of the things I see the Smyrna defense trying to do with Coach Shad Owens has got to say, ends, keep him in and don't let him get out there.
They need inches to move the chains. Laidlaw on the final lunge did get the first down. Josh Day, Rod Wilkes combined to bring him to the turf, but that final lunge did get him the first down.
Here's my take on a good quarterback. A good quarterback doesn't turn the ball over and moves the chains and then sticks it in the end zone. That's what you're going to get out of Becker. He's going to do whatever it takes to move the chains and get into scoring position.
They'll spread them out all over the place. 4 wide receivers and Laidlaw with Becker in the shotgun. Becker, his own number to the 45. Cody Sutherland, the Smyrna tackler, after a gain of 4.
Got to be pretty tough at 5'11", 165 to run it up inside for a quarterback. Becker does it pretty well. It's something that we see a lot across the country now. It started in the college game, and now you see so many teams do this with the shotgun because the defense now has to account for the quarterback as a runner.
See it on Sundays, too.
Laidlaw got absolutely nothing. Josh Day was the first of a couple of defenders. Matt Rafrano was in there as well for Smyrna, and that sets up 3rd and 6.
I want to get back to your statement, though, Willie. A good point you make. Becker, you got to remember, his brother last year was the defensive MVP of this game, Daniel Becker. Okay, Michael Becker's been here, and he contributed last year. When he took the reins at the quarterback spot, everybody said, well, you know, T.C. Jennings, he isn't.
But here he is.
Becker needs 6 on 3rd down. Offensive line gave him a lot of time early. Then it broke down. The fumble is recovered by Ravenwood, but it's 4th down, and they're going to have to kick the football.
And this is a coverage sack here, Pat. There was enough time to find somebody, but you don't have too long the clock has to be ticking in your head when you're the quarterback, because that defensive line is too good. They've got a lot of sacks. They've got a lot of different guys who can get to you. And they don't have to bring a lot of extra guys to get to the quarterback.
The key were the edges. You keep them in the pocket. Don't let them roll out and buy time.
Sonny Gray is also a pretty good punter. He doesn't punt on this one. Carter does. Low line drive that they keep away from Wilkes. Boy, this is going to turn into a heck of a kick. And it goes out of bounds at Smyrna's 8-yard line. So officially 46 yards on the punt. Backs up the Bulldogs deep.
Right, and now Ravenwood's defense. You know, I talked to Coach Rector, like I said a few nights ago, and one thing he said is last year we had some superstars, no question. T.C. Jennings was a great player, and Daniel Becker was a great player, and they had a bunch of great players. He said this is a better team. It's a team. It's guys relying on each other. Great statement.
What they've got to do here is kind of push the field position, because they're backed up in the shadow of their end zone. Tailback Maceo Harris. And not a whole lot going there, because Paul Kleckner, their leading tackler at Ravenwood and a fine linebacker, made the tackle. He's 6'1", 210. I know you've seen him 2 or 3 times. Why is he so good?
You know what? He does such a good job of feeling the play. They had him at middle linebacker, and he struggled because he's not a guy that wants to have contact all the time. He does a better job of sifting through the junk.
They'll run Harris again. Better results. First down to about the 18. And if it's not a first down, it's awfully close. Adam Presley, the Ravenwood linebacker, on the call, but they officially do give him 10 plus, and they move the chains, an important first down.
Interesting, they did not go with the shotgun there, Pat. They went under center and ran a little one-step counter back to the near side, and really nice looking play there. Harris had a lot of running room there.
Counter G with the guard pulling and the fullback coming back across. H-back, fullback, whatever you want to call it.
What is counter G?
It means the guard pulls and leads.
Counter meaning you step one way and then cut back the other.
Here it comes again.
Harris got good first down yardage on what will be the final play of the first quarter. Paul Kleckner, we will call Kleckner's name a lot before the night's over. Not only they're leading the tackler, but 12.5 sacks coming in, 3 interceptions to boot.
They had a couple big ones last year in the championship game.
First quarter is in the books here in Murfreesboro. We've had quite a bit of offense. The difference in the game so far, a missed extra point. Will return in just a moment. Well, we're guessing 12 to 14,000 for this 5A title game. We begin the second quarter. George Plaster, Willy Daunic, Pat Sperduto, or is it the other way around? Rachel Bernard braving the elements down on the sidelines. Smyrna with 3rd and 6, and Gray with a strike for a first down out to about the 37, and a good catch by Josh Crouch, his 35th of the season.
If I'm Ravenwood, I'm not comfortable with the matchup. I think an adjustment is on its way.
Looking at those first quarter stats, the yards per play, you can see the Bulldogs, their explosiveness. You have those 2 wideouts that are big threats. They're running the routes out to the sideline, so that's going to spread out that Ravenwood defense, and it opens up a lot of action in the middle for those running backs.
I think eventually Ravenwood's got to jump a route.
Remember, this drive started back at their 8. Gray fumbled it a second time. Ravenwood got it.
Unforced fumble again. That's 2 of them. And goes back to what I said, composure. I said it in the open. I really think a lot of times you get tight, you make a mistake, unforced error is bad.
Zach Wheeler will be the man who recovers. It looked, Willie, like Gray had an opportunity and then kind of fumbled it again.
Yeah, he just panicked. I think he tried in his mind to say, I can still make the handoff, and that's the mistake that you make. You're better off just playing it safe. And, boy, I'll tell you what, you do those drills since you're a kid. The first time you play in pads, as soon as you see that ball out, who's the quickest to the turf? First guy to the ground usually gets it.
Well, the first Smyrna turnover resulted in a Ravenwood touchdown. Let's see what happens this time. Becker rolls right. He's looking for the bundle. Incomplete and no flag.
Oh, wow. I thought for sure you had a flag there.
Pat, I'll ask this question
I think
before
Coach
we
Rector's
see
asking the same thing.
But
why is that not interference?
Well, is it a catchable football?
That's the only question I have. We're going to find out right now. Airs the decathlete going vertical right up the sideline. That's face guarding. He's right. Whoever's saying that is correct. It's face guarding. That should be the call. It's a
and
bad
I'll tell
call.
you what, it was a catchable football.
It's a bad call. That's a missed call by our crew.
2nd and 10. Laidlaw. Tough yardage. First down yardage.
But that's what I like best. Ravenwood stays composed. Things don't go your way. Don't worry about it. You just keep playing. Great job.
Laidlaw coming in low there, running right. And I'll tell you what, Coach Rector has to be happy that he's been able to test both sides of that Smyrna defensive line. This is a stout defensive line with a lot of size for Smyrna. They're going to have trouble protecting the quarterback, it appears, but they're running the ball very well.
Up front, Smyrna 275, 250, 320, 205. But it has not stopped Laidlaw, who gets about 5. Keith Martin, one of those big guys at 275. Downstairs we go. Rachel, what have you got for us?
Take a look at the kicker down there. The kicking game has to favor Ravenwood. And in a matchup like this, it can be so big. We've watched it in the 4 games leading up to this game where the kicking game can really tilt, whether it's punting or place kicking. It can tilt the field position, tilt the phase of the game.
2nd and 5. Becker calls his own number and got maybe a yard to the 20. And by the way, my apologies to Rachel, because I almost hung her out to dry. They gave me the signal that they're showing the kicker.
She was drinking the coffee. She had the pinky up and everything. All of a sudden, she's like, "Oh my gosh, they're calling for me!" She drops the coffee and runs.
She deserves
Sorry,
better on
Rachel.
that. Rachel, my apologies.
We're teasing you.
Big play in the drive. Ravenwood needs a long 3. Laidlaw.
Got it. And then some.
It wasn't as easy as you made it sound.
He had to get that second effort to get it.
I'm telling you, I just love that kid. I really do. The more I watched him, as he came onto the scene, I was like, Brian, why aren't you playing this guy?
Here we are in the booze it and lose it red zone. George, we've gotten used to saying that. There's been a lot of trips to that red zone throughout these first 4 games.
First down from the 16, and Laidlaw with great yardage, bursting inside the 10. There's a good line here that I'm not going to use.
Well, we were watching a great performance earlier today by the Fulton Falcons, and one of the famous Falcons was D.D. Lewis, a former Dallas Cowboy, and he was a teammate of Laidlaw's father, Scott Laidlaw, who was Tony Dorsett's backup at the tailback.
Actually, he was a fullback for a little while, too.
Got a lot of action.
They get the first down again. Very impressive ground game. Has moved Ravenwood from the 38 where they started after the turnover into the booze it or lose it red zone. And they've got 1st and goal
It's
at the
actually
5.
booze it and lose it.
It's not an or, it's an and.
It's not a choice, right.
That's right.
You booze it, you're done.
That's right.
Smyrna's going to step in and take a timeout.
That's a smart move.
Timeout.
Almost a basketball style timeout there, where you're doing it to stop the momentum as much as anything.
I think it was too.
Now I can safely go downstairs.
She put the cup of tea down.
Rachel, have you forgiven me? Just say yes, it'll make it a lot easier.
Well, I tell you right now, I have Gina Beaver with me. She's with Blue Cross Blue Shield. You know, this healthy competition program has been making a huge impact, especially with the parents. Tell us more about that.
Sure. Healthy Competition is an educational program that we instituted with the TSSAA, and it educates coaches and athletes and their parents on the dangers of using performance-enhancing substances. And so it's been going really well. We have our relationship with the TSSAA gives us a direct line to coaches and therefore then to their athletes, and so it's going really well. We provide them with educational materials and additional resources to kind of help them start the conversation about these substances and their dangers.
You know, if any parent is you know, suspecting that their children is, you know, abusing these types of things, where can they find out more information?
Best thing to do is you can go to the program website at healthycompetitiontn.org. It's a great one-stop shop for all kinds of information on these substances. And there's side effects, there's health consequences, as well as links to other online resources. So it's healthycompetitiontn.org.
Thanks. Back to you guys.
Well, you saw this play. Take a look at how left tackle Joe Thompson saves his quarterback.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a touchdown, and then all of a sudden a great ball strip right there. And again, Ravenwood very alert to fall on that.
Johnny on the spot.
2nd and goal. Laidlaw has 1 touchdown. Is this his 2nd? Yes, sir. Laidlaw into the end zone to get Ravenwood back on the board and give him credit. 2 turnovers. They've taken advantage with 2 scoring drives.
And that's how you do it. You play off your opponent's mistakes. They made 2. Ravenwood said thank you very much.
I'm sure the teams that have been that played already this week are watching this game. Some of the themes that developed, a lot of it was not cashing in on drives as Lopez drives through this extra point. But so many times teams had nice drives, got down into the plus territory, especially the mid-state teams that have fallen, but they couldn't cash in with touchdowns. Ravenwood has done it twice.
Well, you want to get into the living room of a high school football play. Here's the touchdown for Corey Laidlaw, his 16th of the season, capping a 38-yard drive that gets him the lead.
And Rodriguez-Wilkes had a shot to make that tackle for a loss. Now we'll have a shot to return a kick.
Wilkes from about his 8. Wilkes has got a big hole, and Wilkes may be gone. 92 yards. Rodriguez-Wilkes to the house.
Impressive.
Officially, they'll go 91, and now the question, does Smyrna try to go for 2 to tie it?
It's early. I don't know if I'd go for 2 now. I don't think I'd go for 2 right now.
Watch, 1 cut. This is what a lot of teams really stress now, especially on a kickoff return. Don't dance around. 1 cut, boom.
Look at the block. Did you see that block?
And then Wilkes takes it from there. They had an angle on him, but he just outran the pursuit. What a tremendous run that was.
What a knockout block by the wedge. And you're right, Philip Owens is going for 2 right now.
So they will try to tie the game here after Wilkes' 91-yard kickoff return. Momentum shifting back and forth in what has been a great football game early. Sonny Gray keeps it, and we've got a tie game.
You want to talk about, how about the pendulum swinging tonight? Wow.
Frenetic pace. Now, Gray almost drops it again. Now he's trying to peek out there to see what his read is. It's not a good snap. He scoops it up, and he kept his eye on the ball just long enough, and he had a great wall of blockers to run behind.
Sonny Gray is a great baseball player. He picked up, watch the block right here by the wedge. Bang! Nighty-night.
What did you say?
I said, bang! Nighty-night.
And look at the strides of Wilkes. He's covering. He's like Dave Winfield.
He's like a gazelle, you know? I told you. And look at the haircut.
Streamline.
That's what I'm talking about.
If he does that bang again, we may want to
lose it or lose it.
Yes, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I knew that was going to come up. That may get a memo on Monday, but Pat, I do like your enthusiasm. Do you do that during any of your games?
No, usually
if you see a block
I'm
like
sharpening
that,
my nails.
yell out.
Oh, I get a chuckle. I'll usually give a little chuckle if I see a good block like that. Unless it's against us, then I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, this is a resilient Smyrna team. Lost 49-zip to Riverdale. Came back and beat them in the quarterfinals. So being behind does not bother them. They've been through a lot this year. So now we've got ourselves a football game.
Osford to kick, and this time they smartly go away from Michael Ayers. It'll be a touchback, and Ravenwood will start from the 20. First game was low scoring. In fact, Ravenwood never got on the board until midway through the 4th quarter. Tonight, anything but that at 14. You think it's going to be this way all night?
I really do. I think you're talking about a 30, 40-point game, somewhere in there. I mean, I just see a combined score over 50 for sure.
Well, it's important in a game like this that you bounce back. So Ravenwood now needs to bounce back, at least get a few first downs and settle the game back down.
I agree.
Corey Laidlaw got no more than a yard that time. He ran into about 6 purple people, led by a linebacking core. Josh Day was one of them. Ruben Shadrake was there as well.
Well, one of the things I like the adjustment that Philip Shadowins made. What he did is he's creeped up the strong side safety and allowed him to become part of the front 7, thus making it 8.
Ravenwood has taken advantage of the breaks they've gotten, but Smyrna, they've come back to tie it, and Laidlaw got clobbered. Sutherland was there. He was part of that big hit. So was Refrano. The gain on the play is 1, and it didn't feel very good.
Well, here's a stat for you, Pat. 15 carries already for Laidlaw, and we're midway through the second quarter. He's on pace for a lot, and he's taking a beating, and that's got to be part of Smyrna's mentality. Hey, make him pay for the yards he's getting, because he is having a lot of success. 15 carries for 74 yards, but as the game wears on, let's see if he can continue to take the punishment.
I want to see what they do with Becker here.
Ravenwood 2 out of 4 tonight on third downs. Oh, look at this play. A little razzle-dazzle to make it 3 out of 5. And the first down is out to the 40.
I told you guys, don't be surprised. Brian Rector will pull it out of the hat now. That's what he did right here. Watch. It's a hook and ladder. How about in the first half? Little flip. Thank you, Mr. Laidlaw. Straight arm, spin, a dance, hand down, chuck it away.
Pat, let me ask this. It works, but you have a receiver, Ayers, who makes the catch with first down yardage and then backs away to make the play.
He was looking for the home run. He didn't want the single.
Laidlaw got clobbered and then bounced away for about 1.5 yards. Refrano having a big first half in on the stop for Smyrna.
I still can't believe they had the guts to run that play in that area of the field. I can see it if you're on the 40, but that is
and to the short side. And to the short side of the field.
But you know, George, I think they teach it that way, running backwards, because you clear out the defender. The defender's not going to chase you if you're running backwards. That clears the space for you to make the pitch.
Laidlaw again, boy, has he been busy. And a first down to the Smyrna 46. He drugged Jonah Hendricks an extra couple to get to the 46.
You know what the good thing is? All he's got to do tonight is go home, get a big barrel out in the backyard, fill it up with water. It's already going to be cold enough, and then throw himself in there because he's going to need an ice tub tomorrow.
Wow. So he doesn't get to go to the Titans-Colts game?
No, I don't think he'll be going. I think he will be in an ice tub.
Either that or he'll need one of those luxury suites with a bed in it. That carry didn't quite work because Cody Sutherland saw it all coming. Laidlaw loses a couple, maybe 3, and he'll remember Sutherland, who wears number 50.
No Moss. Oof.
He just swimmed right through there.
Yeah, what they did is they ran the old counter trade with the guard and the tackle pulling across the back of the formation.
Approaching 5 minutes to play in what has been a fun first half in this 5A title game. Ravenwood, the defending champion, on the move in a tie game. Becker to the outside, a completion to Ayers, and depending on the spot, he does have the first down to the 34, run out of bounds by Josh Crouch.
You've got to be impressed with the response by Ravenwood thus far.
And again, the quarterbacks, the ability to throw this pass opens up so many things for an offense. And he just guns this out there. And then Ayers, watch this. He's able to turn the corner, and he's accelerated to top speed in a small area, quick in a small area.
Phenomenal athlete.
Laidlaw, his 19th carry. Rips off about 9 to the 25. Crouch, the first of the Smyrna Bulldogs to get him, but 19 carries already, approaching 100 yards in the first half.
And again, we've talked about when you're able to throw that quick hitch out there, and Both defenses have been fairly conservative, giving up the 6 to 8 yard hitch, but you can get a defense thinking that way. It opens things up in the middle for a guy like Laidlaw.
Good offensive coordinator down. 2nd and 1, not so good. Laidlaw dropped at the 28 by the linebacker Josh Day. What should have been an easy call now gets pretty rough.
Well, I got a kind of a chuckle out of it because Laidlaw came to the sideline looking for a blow. Coach sent him back in and gave him the ball.
And they paid for it.
Yeah, right now he's got to be gassed. He's got to be gassed.
He's only got 20 carries. 3rd and about 4, and Becker comes up short. Smyrna got to him with Josh Crouch, and now you've got a decision if you're Brian Rector.
He's going for it.
Yeah, I think so.
No
4th
question.
and maybe 2.
No question, he's going for it.
Now he does have a kicker who's 9 for 15 in field goals, and that is a lot more than most teams we've seen here. A lot of teams don't even think about a field goal here. They at least have that option, but it looks like for sure they're going to go for it. Now, play clock's running down.
He's going to take a timeout when he gets to 0, though. Watch. He's going to use it all, take a timeout, give his back a chance to rest a little bit. Golly.
And 3:18 to go in the half. There's no question you can burn a timeout here and feel good about it.
I like the call. I like the call. It's a big play. And Brian's going out there and going to talk to his guys a little bit and say, hey, we need it.
By the way, while we've got a moment, we have the Better Living halftime report. Now, you all tell me about this. I have not been down there. Is this thing heated?
Oh, yeah.
They're not in it, though. They're doing the show from outside. We've already decided that's going to my house. We're going to put it in my backyard. Recliner, little satellite, little television. We're going to keep the Christmas tree. We talked about it. They're going to put some nice Cats tickets for Christmas presents underneath the tree. We've already mentioned it all.
You got the Cats ornament, the Pat Sperduto bobblehead ornament.
Absolutely. Gotta love it. Pretty.
Oh, it's very festive. Corey Laidlaw, I mentioned earlier, his father, Scott Laidlaw, former Dallas Cowboy. I wonder if he ever had to carry 20 times in one half as a Cowboy.
How about he's only 5'11", 170 pounds, and he runs like a big man, though, doesn't he?
Here's the play, 4th and 2. Becker has it tipped at the line of scrimmage, and Smyrna comes up with the play they needed. Ruben Shadrake, the linebacker, was able to tip it, but there is a marker down, so let's check on that before we go any farther.
Oh,
You got a discussion.
that would be brutal if it's roughing the passer.
Ken Caven is our lead referee. Let's check in, find out what happened.
Waiting with bated breath.
He's taking his time.
No flag. We had 7 on the line.
Now you're going to see a lot of heat on Becker here. And this is what you do. You know you're not going to get to him. You get the hand up. So he almost came down on the head, but I think it's a good non-call.
Yeah, that is a good non-call. I don't like the play call personally. You know, I thought they could have gone with something else. I would have moved Becker out of the pocket a little bit, but hey, I'm up here. He's playing a championship game.
So now Smyrna has a little more than 3 minutes.
And they have the offense to suit this.
And they have 2 of their 3 timeouts in a 14-14 tie.
No, they've got some guns, or some bullets left in the gun as well.
Maceo Harris, make it Hendricks. First down yardage to the 38. He got about 12, maybe 13
What I mean
on
by
first
that,
down.
Sorry, George. What I mean by that, Pat, is they've got other things in the arsenal that they can go to. Gray is so versatile. But then here you go, a simple running play. You've got to be so aware of all the different things that Smyrna can throw at you. And so a simple play like that gets a big jump.
And what they did is they showed one defense and ran something else.
Those numbers indicate that if he's the second option, number 1, in this case Maceo Harris, must be awfully good.
They're going to run cover 2. Here we go.
Left tackle jump.
Okay. Now, you see what Ravenwood's done is they've come out of that 1 free and they're going to cover 2.
Actually, it's the tight end, Kelly Thomason, rather.
Got a dead ball. Ball start on the white. Complete first down.
Now, Willie, you better be really sure of what you're saying, because initially you pinned the left tackle, James Williams, who happens to be 6'7", 305, and could do bodily damage if he so desired.
My apologies to James and his family watching this game. It was the tight end that did jump.
Can we dance with your dates?
Now, do not come out with the Animal House references, please, Pat.
Sonny Gray on the option. He got very good yardage. Got about 10, actually about 8 before Adam Presley was able to get him down. Fake right, go left.
Look at the defensive end bite. Did you see him come down on that one? He bites down. Sonny Gray takes it outside. 2nd and 7.
Well, they've been setting that play up for a while because they haven't used Gray as a running back that much. Only his 4th carry.
Cover 2 again.
Hendricks didn't get a whole lot there, and look at the swarming red led by Paul Kleckner. There was 1 tackler, and then suddenly there were 6.
Right, it was Adam Presley who comes in late. No relation to Elvis, but we got a little shake, rattle, and roll coming up. Take a peek. Kleckner comes in there. There's a couple people. Now watch number 10. Shake. Oh, no, 11. You're right. Kleckner finishes him off.
He'd have been better off going down.
Yes, I agree. Discretion is the better part of valor.
Big play here. 3rd and 9 as we approach a minute to play in the first half. Smyrna has made 2 mistakes, and they've paid dearly for both of them, but still they're in a tie. Gray eludes 1, takes off, gets his first down, and gets to the Ravenwood 49. Scott Ford finally got him down, but I'll tell you what, Sonny Gray showed some wheels.
I'm gonna put my money. That's the front runner right here for next year's Mr. Football. It's gonna be Sonny Gray. He has that innate ability to find ways to beat you, and he does right here by scrambling. Watch him here. Just a tough, hard-nosed guy. Knows where the sticks are, fights to get them. First down.
Remember, they've got their 2 timeouts in their back pocket. Gonna have to use one of them soon. Gray, left sideline, good toss. Complete to Crouch for the first down at the 34.
Sonny Gray was 3 for 12 for 50 yards in the first game against Ravenwood on that windy night, but he has been right on the money in this game so far. And we've been saying it over and over, the ability to sling it out there to the sideline like he does is very, very impressive.
Crouch's 34th catch on the year, and it's a big one as they approach field goal range.
Alex Robbins, the offensive coordinator for Philip Shadowlands, was the former MTSU offensive coordinator, and he'll be the first one to tell you how talented Sonny Gray is.
Gray in trouble, eludes 1, and look at him run, and he's got some room, and he gets out of bounds smartly at the 18. So not only does he get the 16, he gave you a little Doug Flutie.
That's what I was just about to say. Exactly who he looked like. Little Doug Flutie action. Watch him. He's bottled up. Good rush by Kleckner. Doesn't finish. Sonny Gray says, okay, I'll make you pay for that one.
But he's got about 4 inches on Doug Flutie, at least, at 6 foot. But he does wear number 2, and that is a great presence of mind to get out of bounds because they still have the 2 timeouts. And remember, they don't have much of the field goal kicking game, so they want to punch it in for 7 here.
Right, and they'll get 4 shots at least from here.
And they've been able to do all of this without using either one of those timeouts yet. Hendricks to the outside, close to the first down, short by about a yard, but importantly goes out of bounds at the 9. They continue to do a good job conserving the timeouts. They keep getting out of bounds.
And you can run the ball. I mean, it gives you a run-pass option by saving those timeouts. Now if you decide, hey, let's take a shot at a draw, and if it gets tackled, we'll use one of them.
Smyrna has now entered the booze it and lose it red zone.
You got it.
And Ravenwood is the one to take the timeout.
And I think this is a good call too. Just like earlier when Philip Shadowlands took his. How about the nifty little lids on the Smyrna football players? You like the little lid they got going?
You're talking about the hairdo.
I love it. Couple mohawks.
Well, Is it a full-on mohawk, though? It's like a wide mohawk. It's something between, like, remember the Boz? Brian Bosworth for Oklahoma had a unique cut. It's somewhere between the Boz and the mohawk. It's somewhere in between. It's the Bulldog.
But all I want to know is, did they all do it? That's the key.
Well, we'll have to kind of investigate.
We're going to have to find out. If they all did it, I'll accept it. No, I don't think 4 cut those beautiful, pretty locks.
You don't think there was one smart one in the bunch?
Well, let's see. There's 2 right there. There's 3 right there. I saw one kid with pretty right there. Number 4's got some locks coming out the back. I doubt it.
Well, you never know. He might have it cut on the side.
He might have it taped up there.
Yeah.
I want to see number 4 without his hat.
All we know is the guys that have done it are playing pretty well so far.
Yeah, that's right.
Back to less hairy issues. 2nd and 1 for Smyrna. 69 yards already on this drive. 55 of which have come on the ground.
Here comes a check right here.
Smyrna trying to take the lead. It's a touchdown.
How about we got a front runner for the MVP, Rodriguez Wilkes.
Rod Wilkes with the touchdown, and it was absolutely like Pat called it. Pat, this looked like Calvin Johnson.
Oh yeah, I told you, he's like Randy Moss over there. You see him, a big target. I saw this against Laverne, week 0. Hey, I like the play call too. What happened was the play was called. Sonny Gray sees he's got one-on-one. Check it to a fade. Give him a choice route, fade or slant.
What an impressive drive before the half. Smyrna goes 78 yards. They're able to use almost the entire time, and then it's capped off. Sonny Gray to Rodriguez Wilkes. They're going to go in at halftime probably with the lead.
One thing that is really hard to teach, even for a big wide receiver, is to be able to use your body as a screen. And that's exactly what Wilkes did, and he did it very naturally there. He didn't push off. He didn't even get much contact. It's just a feel.
He's an outstanding basketball player. He's a rebounder like Charles Barkley, 6'4", but understands how to use your butt and your legs to position yourself, and that's exactly what he did right there.
And Gray just lofted it up there. Probably could have thrown it even higher, but you've got to have confidence that your receiver is going to be able to shade the defensive back and not let the DB have a chance to intercept it, because he just lofted it up there nice and easy, and Wilkes did the rest.
They're going to have to find an answer to Wilkes in the red zone. They're going to have to find somebody that can favorably match up with Rodriguez Wilkes in the booze it and lose it red zone.
Tell you what, I was very impressed with Smyrna on that drive. They had 3 minutes. They had 2 timeouts. Good mix of run and throw. When they needed to get out of bounds to conserve time, they did. They really played like a well-coached football team.
Is Wilkes having a first half or what? 3 catches for 49 yards and 2 scores, plus the long touchdown on the kickoff return of 90-plus yards.
You know, he's a good, I told you, he's like Randy Moss.
Osford with a low-line drive that's fielded by one of the up-backs, and he'll go down at the 39. That's a little riskier play on the pro level if you've got one of these guys out of Tampa that can nail it 62.
Well, right here, you're still looking at quite a ways, but with 19 seconds in a timeout, you never know. You never know.
It's tempting. And you know Brian Rector, the way he approaches things, he's got to at least think about it.
I would be stunned.
And we have a timeout. And Smyrna is just going to make sure that they're in the right defensive
Everybody
second.
knows, hey, look, nothing cheap, nothing deep.
Coach
well, very nice.
That's what it is.
How long have you been thinking of that one?
I say that all the time, especially in these circumstances.
Right.
No trick plays, and don't let anybody get behind you.
Right. That's the best football rhyme since Frank Wycheck's.
You can't make the club in the tub.
Thank you very much. Football rhymes. We'll have them out just in time for Christmas. If you'd like to buy them, let me give you my phone number. Holy cow.
Oh, we're funny. How much fun can you have in a 5A championship game?
Actually, we're not. But if we've humored ourselves, so much the better.
And
This has been good. Well, the jokes have not been. This has been a good football
How
game.
about the crowd? I'm still in awe. This is the best. We've done this how many years now? This is the best crowd, and the mid-state's represented very well.
This is the best by far. that we've seen in a 5A title game.
Here they go in the shotgun.
Becker, pump fakes. He'll just have to run it, and he'll go out of bounds, and that may well be a late hit.
And there it is.
Oh, yeah.
Flag comes in.
That's just like a 15-yard completion without running a play. 11 seconds, you got a timeout. You got to move up 15 more yards. That's sweet.
Matt Refrano getting an earful from one of his coaches. As you will see, he is clearly
Yeah, that wasn't smart.
And it's not a big
past
hit.
the white.
It's not a big hit, but it's where the contact occurs. He was already in the white.
Yeah, that's just not smart. He's going out of bounds. Let him go.
Personal foul, late hit, out of bounds, first down.
So you'll see it again here. As Becker turns upfield, he's going to get out right here. Right here, you've got to just back off a little bit because momentum keeps up. Now, how many yards do they need right here? And they've got to get him. They've got the timeout, too.
They need about 15 more.
They still have one timeout remaining. Becker to the air, toward the corner, and it's going to be almost intercepted.
And a flag.
And a flag as well.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Now, this is going to be one that's very similar to the Auburn
They're calling
LSU
it on
game.
offense. I think they're calling it on the... No.
Well, remember, the safety came in and knocked it out. So the ball was technically tipped before the ball arrived. Now, there was a game earlier this year between Auburn and LSU where this exact thing happened. The third guy comes in. The interference is on the
17,
DB.
right.
17. And they're going to call it on offense.
Oh, Rector's about to blow a gasket.
Now take a look at this.
Got offensive pass interference on red. Still play first down.
So they decide.
Second down.
They decide that Adam Presley was the one who caused all that contact. I don't know if we can get a third look at this thing, but if we do, let's just take a look and see if Presley really did initiate the contact.
The key is he initiating the contact? The bottom line is he looking at the DB to make contact with him? That's the question I have.
This is going to move it way back.
Yeah,
it's going to end the half. Pretty much. Now you have to
I don't
sit on
get
it.
this. I'm sorry. I just don't get this. I didn't get the first one, to be honest with you, when they missed it.
Well, I'm wondering if the rule is the same as it is in college, where if the safety comes in anyway, can it be interference if it's deflected before the ball arrives, or if it's before?
See, he's looking back. He's not looking at the guy he's running into. I think that's a bad call.
Questionable.
Becker goes down on a knee. The first half is history.
Oh, Rector's going to find the referee right now. He's going to give him an earful right this second. I'm telling you, this is a beeline right to him. Right now. He's giving it to him.
He just got the flyby.
Yeah, he got the drive-by.
The referee did not stop.
And he's still following him. He's getting his money's worth. Keep going. Make it count. Just don't get the penalty.
Brian's telling him, look, either upper deck, that's all I've got.
That's
if you
a
want to go
horrible
tomorrow.
call. That's an absolutely horrible call. He's right.
Sit out there and it's on offense. Let's go, coach.
Well, you were able to hear that. Let's go downstairs. Rachel Bernard standing by. Rachel, who have you got for us?
I have the coach with me. I have to say, it has been a defensive battle, as you can see. And I have to say, what do you plan on? What adjustments are you going to be making in the second half?
Got to find a way to stop the run. Right now, they're hurting us with the running game, and we kind of knew that coming in. We're just not doing a very good job getting off blocks, but got a little better as the quarter went on there. And I think our kids got kind of settled into a game, and I think we're ready to go.
Thanks. Back to you guys.
Okay, Rachel, thank you. It's been a very entertaining first half. On Ravenwood's side, they have been able to capitalize on 2 turnovers. On Smyrna's side, a touchdown in the final 3 minutes of the first half to give them the lead. 21-14 the score. Halftime coming up. Well, we're about to begin the third quarter of what has been a really entertaining football game so far. Smyrna with a drive in the final 3 minutes to take the 7-point lead. This has been fun, and I have a feeling the next 24 minutes will be the same. But first, let's go down to the sideline. Rachel Bernard, what do you got?
Can I ask that over again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, how do you plan to control Sonny Gray?
Well, it'd be nice if we would tackle him once or twice when we've got him in our grasp. But he's a great quarterback and he's a great player. Those plays he's making aren't really a shock to me. We have to limit that if we're going to plan on winning this football game.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Yeah, it may well be easier said than done. Sonny Gray engineered a drive before the end of the first half that really was impressive. Good mixture of pass and run, good use of the clock. The result, Smyrna, a 7-point lead.
The question is, I think, how are you going to control Rodriguez Wilkes? That's the real question. The kickoff return, the big plays, the red zone dominance. Woo.
John Lopez will kick, and right on cue, he's going to stay away from Rod Wilkes. Fielded by one of the up backs, and the return is out to the 30, and so we will see Sonny Gray and the Smyrna offense. Gray in the first half, 5 of 6, 78 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Rod Wilkes was his big receiver. And guys, at halftime, this is a team that's got to feel pretty good about where they are.
Well, they've had the ball for 8.5 minutes as opposed to 15.5. They've turned it over twice, yet they still lead by 7. So they've got to feel really good about their chances that they can play a good half.
They've been their own worst enemy at times. I want to see the adjustments that Coach Rector makes defensively, and he's going back to 1-3.
Gray will throw on first down. That one was low and hit the turf a little too early.
I like the coverage, though. What they did, they went 1-3. They showed press and bailed. Nice job. If you watch the matchup, on the receiver. They showed like he was going to play press and bailed out with outside technique, forcing everything inside to the post.
Well, and remember, one of our keys to the game was bring the blitz from different places, but they didn't bring the heat, and they have not gotten the heat on Sonny Gray as much as they did the first go-round when they defeated Smyrna at Smyrna.
All kinds of movement. Now the question for Ken Caven and his crew, who initiated?
That's the defense.
Got dead ball foul. Grossman on red team. Second down.
Now, Ken was smart there because he knew it was more than one.
Just said red team. Group them.
And it was the team. It was a team offsides. It wasn't just one guy.
A hard count is an offensive lineman's best friend, the hut.
So instead of 2nd and 10, it's now 2nd and 5. And from here, Smyrna can do most anything.
How about this one, coverage? He's going man-to-man from bottom.
Maceo Harris, his 5th carry, not a good one. A couple of yards lost on the play because Jesse Johnson and Isaiah Williams on the left side of that Ravenwood defense teamed up. Loss on the play about 1.5 yards, and now it's 3rd and a long 6.
Right, Isaiah Williams plays off the block, gets upfield, gets a piece of the shoelace, takes it down.
Well, that's a big tackle by Williams because there was some room, there was some green out there.
Right,
if he doesn't make that shoestring tackle.
Again, watch the coverage. They're slanting the safety over to the short side of the field. Now he's coming back middle. Sonny knows he has one-on-one up at the top, but he gets pressure.
Gray in trouble, and he finds a receiver, and it's good for a first down. If he was able to hang on, Crouch his 3rd catch, and it keeps the drive going to the 42.
And watch Scott Ford, number 4. He's in man-to-man. They get Sonny Gray on the move, and he lets go of his receiver. What a great throw. Wow.
And a good adjustment to the ball by Crouch. Crouch was actually benched for a while after they lost to Ravenwood earlier this year. Had to work his way back into the lineup, but certainly a guy that can get it done. He's made a lot of big catches like that. 33 catches coming into this game.
Back to the ground, you betcha.
Maceo Harris loses a couple.
Williams again.
Along with Paul Kleckner.
Kleckner's a disruptor. He's one of those guys because if you give him room to roam, he's going to disrupt plays, and that's what he did. Got in there, disrupted. Williams cleaned him up.
Willie, I'll tell you the thing that impresses me about Gray is his poise. You flush him out of the pocket, he's not rattled. He looks like a kid that's been playing a while.
Yeah, he doesn't panic when the rush comes in there. He's very comfortable on the move, as Becker is. I mean, these guys have got a lot of mirror image aptitude in these two quarterbacks.
I'll tell you a great story about Sonny Gray in a minute.
2nd and 12, good protection, and a strike near midfield. And in fact, right at midfield is the receiver, and it's Rod Wilkes again, run out of bounds by George Tanifan, and now a very makeable 3rd down. 3rd and a short 2.
And you watch right here, Rodriguez Wilkes in man-to-man coverage. He'll get you all day long. Big target who can run and frames the ball well. Sonny Gray, a lot of people don't know this. His dad was a great athlete at Smyrna years before, and Sonny's great dad passed a couple of years ago, and that's one of the things that he's taken as kind of a moniker for him to run with, and he's doing this not only for himself, but in the memory of his dad.
Boy, look at Ravenwood trying to cram everybody in the box. Gray instead decides to throw, but cannot elude the pressure. That time, the blitzing Paul Kleckner got him down for a big loss of 7.
And that's where a big-time player has to make a big play. Gray is very good at escaping in a play like that. Kleckner just doesn't let it happen. Watch this. Kleckner's got him, and he just won't let it go. Gray wanted to get out of there, and he had some room, and he was looking for where that first down marker was, but Kleckner just was not going to let him out of his grip.
Again, Kleckner was dominant last year in the championship game right here on this field, and again tonight he's making big plays. Like you said, big-time players, big-time games, big-time plays.
And that's a huge stop on the opening drive there to get their team the football back down just to score.
Sonny Gray about to punt for the first time tonight, but Smyrna will take a timeout before that happens.
And this is not what they wanted to do. You don't want to burn a timeout with 8:12 to go in the 3rd when you're about to punt.
We will go to the break. We're about 4 minutes into the 3rd quarter. Smyrna, the slight underdog, a 7-point lead. We'll return to Murfreesboro in a moment. And the beat goes on here in Murfreesboro. Ravenwood about to get the football for the first time in the 2nd half. Sonny Gray about to attempt his first punt of the night. And Scott Ford deep at the Ravenwood 25. This is a darn good kick, and it chases Ford back. And he has no choice but to let it come to rest at about the 7. Now on style points, it didn't look like a 51-yard kick, but the results were fabulous.
Hey, let me tell you, he's beating them with his arm, and now he's doing it with his leg, because that is a big kick. When you can pin them down, you're changing the tilt of the field. When you make them start from their own side, if they don't get a good kick back, now you've gained yardage.
Ravenwood 93 yards away from trying to tie.
You think Laidlaw got an IV at halftime?
Well, he got 20 carries in the first half. He's 6 away from the century mark. And you got to figure before the night's over, if it's a close game, he'll get well into the 30s.
And they need him to get into the 30s if they're going to do what they want to do.
And one of the things we talked about in the last game, Mark and I at the Maryville Hillsborough game, don't get off your game plan.
Laidlaw gets 3 downstairs. Rachel, what do you got for us?
Ben Bottoms is our Crystals fan of the game. Ben, where does all your spirit come from?
Well, I had to step up for my buddy Hunter Sexton, who's the best fan at Ravenwood High School.
That's awesome. And of course, with all that awesome energy, here's some more with some free crystals. Back to you guys.
Now the question is, can he see the crystals? He's got those sunglasses at night.
If I had known that's all it would have taken, I'd have worn them too. Becker on 2nd down. There was contact between Ayers and the defensive back Rod Wilkes, but I don't think anything's being called. And look at Brian Rector. He is charged all the way down inside his own 25 to let the official again have a piece of his mind.
Yeah, Darrell Lewis has had a kind of a tough night. You know, the back judge has struggled a little bit, and he's getting an earful again from Coach Rector.
Well, Rector covered at least 15 yards of sideline there. It was a little bit similar to Tom Coughlin's run along the sideline when Vince Young was making that game-saving run last week.
I think he had more fist pumps, though, right there. He had about 16 fist pumps on the 18 yards.
And the other thing, Rector does not have as many prima donnas.
And here's a flag. Play clock went to 0. And so that could be a big 5 yards for Ravenwood.
Dead ball. Delay a game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
I'm going to tell you right now, Darrell Lewis is not getting a Christmas card from Brian Rector this year. He's not. I'm going to guarantee you that one.
But you know what hurts, though, is that affected the next play call and put him behind the 8 ball, and now they're 3rd and 12 instead of 3rd and 7.
No doubt. And we talked about how well they adjusted earlier from a bad call.
Becker, they trust him enough to throw on 3rd and 12. Long ball is caught near midfield. Michael Ayers, that's a way to get out of all that trouble.
Well,
40 plus and a first down.
Just a go route. It's just a go route. Ayers goes up the sideline, gets a great throw from Becker. Hey, put him to bed. Move on to the next play.
Now, from the end zone, look how he lays this ball up. It is good coverage. That is not bad coverage at all. And Ayers, like we talked about before, how it's so important for a receiver to block off with his body. Very well done.
44 yards gets him out of the hole, and Laidlaw adds maybe a yard and a half. He gets past midfield. We'll call it the Smyrna 49, but we may look back on that play and say to ourselves, huge play in the game. 3rd and 12, and they get 44.
From the shadows of their goalpost, too. Don't forget that.
Injured player down on the field for Smyrna.
And it's a key member of that defense, Josh Day, their leading tackler. So they got to hope that he's all right.
And with his 18 sacks, 19 sacks, you better really hope that he's okay, because if Becker starts throwing a little bit more, troubles are brewing.
Have we done a 5A title game in the 4 we've done where the 2 quarterbacks could throw the way these 2 can?
Not that I can remember.
No,
there have been some running teams that didn't even try to throw it that much, didn't need to throw it that much.
You know, the Riverdale teams always had Scott Thomas, and you look back and you say, okay, the last year T.C. Jennings could throw it around a little bit, but, you know, I can't think of both quarterbacks being this effective.
Have not been many 3rd and 12s that have been answered with a 44-yard game.
And both of them are fearless. That's what puts even more pressure on the defense.
Becker keeps it himself, and Becker's going to have a first down. The fumble is after the play. Don't worry about the fumble. It'll be a first down to the 37. Jonah Hendricks came up from the corner to finally get the quarterback down.
Now, it always gives a sideline lift when they can see the quarterback dish out the punishment. Now watch, he takes on the tackler, and he gets about 4 extra yards. Not every quarterback can do this right here.
There's a hammer and a nail in every collision. Thus, Mr. Becker becomes the hammer.
And that was a little bit closer to a fumble than it at first appeared. I think it was the right call, though.
Becker's 10th rush of the night. Laidlaw, busy man. Carry number 23 will get him over 100 yards for the night. Cody Sutherland, the left defensive tackle, along with Josh Day, bring him down. But Laidlaw, if you think he's getting tired, maybe he is, but the results are still pretty good.
Look at the play. You see him run into the line, and you're saying to yourself, oh, there's no way he picked up any yards. You look back, it's 2nd and 5.
Ravenwood trying to get the touchdown that would tie it. Laidlaw does have the first down to about the 27.
How about the cut? You like that cut? He sticks his foot in the ground, breaks it back.
Well, this is instinct here because he can't see. Watch, he's gonna hit the pile here. Watch this. He's gonna run into a guy, and then he just finds his way. He's got his head down, but he just sees the space, sees the daylight, and just has a feel for where those sticks are. Now they've got about a half a yard to go.
Yeah, they actually did come up short, and this time Laidlaw does get the first down to about the 27. Now remember, this drive was kept alive just a couple of minutes ago on a 3rd and 12 from the Ravenwood 5 when Becker hit Michael Ayers for 44, and look where it's taken him now.
Right, and then knocking with a chance to tie on this drive. But really what impressed me most about Laidlaw is his hips. He's got great hips and the ability to swerve them in order to avoid contact.
Got a whistle here.
And now the play will run. Laidlaw, short yardage to about the 25. That time it was Josh Crouch, the strong safety, who has been even more active on the offensive side for Laidlaw. his 26th carry, 26 for 111 yards, 2 touchdowns, numbers 15 and 16 on the year. Boy, he has been money in the bank for them.
Very good balance for Smyrna, and that was one of Pat's keys to the game. They are executing that very well. Meanwhile, Ravenwood has got some pretty good balance of their own. 10th play of the drive coming up.
This time Becker keeps it, dives to about the 21. We'll give him 5 before the linebacker Ruben Shadrake put him on the turf. And speaking of turf, this is a brand new surface here at Middle Tennessee. They've gone to what's called, I guess, the prescription turf or whatever, field turf. And this stuff is apparently quite a bit better than the old AstroTurf, which was nothing more than concrete with a nice green rug put on it.
Big third down coming up.
Willie and I have another formula for this field turf. We'll tell you in a minute.
They need to get to the 17. Becker buying time, has it intercepted. Wilkes picks him off, make it Josh Day with the interception, not Wilkes. And that will end the drive at the Smyrna 17.
Yeah, that was a bad choice right there by Becker. He's rolling to his right, and he tries to stick it in there. Bad choice.
Well, we're going to watch this here. He's got the matchup that he wants. He's got the linebacker on the receiver he wants to throw. But what he does is he locks in, he waits, and Josh Day reads it. He knows it's coming, and he cuts off the route at the last minute. Anytime you got errors on a linebacker, that's the matchup where you want it, but he waited too long, Pat, to deliver.
But what he does, what Day does, is he cuts in front of the receiver. A lot of guys will stay behind him. He cuts in front of him and cuts the angle off. No physics cut.
For Josh Day, his second interception of the season. Now Smyrna to the attack, and they get good yardage on first down. Adam Presley bringing down Antoine Hendricks, but a gain on first down of about 6, and you'll take that anytime.
So an 11-play drive for Ravenwood covers 71 yards, and they get no points out of it. Big swing play. We've seen a lot of momentum swings in this game. The big kickoff return, the big bomb that got Ravenwood down there, and then the big interception there. First turnover for the Raptors. Got a lot of discussion before this penalty.
Personal foul on the offense. Pete, first down, half the distance to go.
I've got to be honest, I didn't see what precipitated the penalty, but it's a costly one. Instead of 2nd and 4, it's going to be first in a bundle, first and about 18, if my math is correct. Smyrna, the 7-point lead as we go deep into the third quarter. George Plaster, Willy Daunic, the silent Pat Sperduto. For a moment, we will get him back with us here in just a second. Gray buying time. Now he's in trouble, and down he goes. 5-yard line, and the sack credited to the middle linebacker, Kess Carter. Willie, he kept waiting, kept buying time, and it just wasn't there.
Well, this is the kind of pressure they had in the first meeting between these two teams. And Gray had some time, and this, Pat, would have to be considered a coverage sack.
Oh, yeah. If you look at it, he stays on his guy. He's trying to get the back out of the backfield. Watch the back release late. Great job by the linebacker. Hold on to the back, then come on up and give some help.
2nd and 22. If you're faced with that prospect, you turn to your neighbor and you say, hey, listen, you make the call.
And watch the wideouts here. This is where the one-on-one coverage, they got a lot of green behind him.
Hendricks. A good gain on 2nd down, and then very close to a late hit by Adam Presley, but the officials will let that one go. But a good gain on 2nd down, so that now you do have a chance to convert on 3rd and 10.
And I thought he was going to take this back into the middle of the field. He gets a great block from his receiver, Rod Wilkes, again.
And you're right, George. Kleckner got a little shove, 4 or 5 yards out of bounds.
But it's a good response right now by the Ravenwood defense if they can hold on this 3rd and 10.
Smyrna is 3 of 4 tonight on third down conversions, and a couple of those have been huge on touchdown drives. Gray from the gun. Good protection and a strike to Wilkes. And now the fumble is after the play. The catch is going to be legal, and it's going to be 12 and a first down. And what a job by Smyrna's offense to come out of a 2nd and 22 hole.
Well, this has been the play that's been there all night. Now look, he's juggling that ball. He does a great job to bring it in, and there it pops out. Well, that may have been before the knee came down.
He never came down.
He came down on the player, but not the ground.
Right.
If you had to review that, is that incomplete?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's either incomplete or a fumble. It's
right,
not
I agree.
It's not a catch and a first down. Either way,
he never
Smyrna
had
gets a
possession.
break.
He never had possession on the field, so that would have been an incomplete pass.
Rod Wilkes having a big night, whether he caught that one or not. It's a first down. Hendricks, look at the hole that suddenly developed late in a first down to the 41 before Kleckner brought him down. For a moment, it looked like he was in big trouble, and then it looked like the Red Sea parted.
Well, Pat, sometimes you have the option of handing it off or not handing it off. And there was some indecision whether to let it go or not there on the part of Gray. But a good job there by Hendricks, because he did not assume that the ball was going out, because that's when fumbles occur. You have to really trust your running back and your quarterback on a play like that.
It was a read, and it was actually a late read by the quarterback.
Hendricks with that run, over 70 yards for the game.
And Ravenwood is reeling right now. They're on their heels, and they have to find an answer to this right now with a stop. Somehow, some way. Look for them to come back. Smyrna is going to come back to the Wilkes matchup again. Oh, there's a freebie.
Left defensive end. Moved a little early. That's Thomas Kilcrease. And that's going to cost Ravenwood 5.
Well, you can feel the momentum going back to Smyrna here.
It's like ball foul. Coachman on defense. First down.
Now I'll say this, Pat. That last play, the catch by Wilkes, very, very difficult call for an official to see. But the bottom line is that that is a swing play that keeps the drive alive for Smyrna, and now you can feel the momentum surging.
I agree. And right now it's been like a pendulum back and forth. The swing is gone.
Sonny Gray's numbers have been very good. This won't hurt him at all either, as Maceo Harris explodes to the Ravenwood 44. Adam Presley, the tackler. Harris looked like he was shot out of a cannon.
And the field is flipped again.
This is a play they've run all year long. They work on it time and time again. Harris does a great job of reading his blocks as well.
What a great block by Day, number 45. Josh Day gets a great block.
Smyrna up 7 points here would be huge as we go under a minute to play in the third quarter.
Last time he checked off, he checked a goal route. Don't be surprised if he does it again. Nope, back to the ground.
Harris for maybe a couple to the 42. Alex Barnes out of the secondary was the first Raptor to get in there. Remember, these two teams played in late September, and when it was all over, would anybody have thought these two would match up again for the state title? I don't think so.
Well, week 0, I walked away saying I think Smyrna's the best team, but then I watched them falter. Now, boy, they have a chance to be the best team in 5A.
This may well be the final play of the third quarter. It's a running play to Hendricks to the outside. He's got a first down, and he's got more to the Ravenwood 30. Run out of bounds by Adam Presley, and that is the final play of the third quarter, and it's a good one for Smyrna. They are on the move. They're leading by 7. The fourth and final period is coming up next. Floyd Stadium here in Murfreesboro, the scene of this 5A title game. Smyrna on the move, already leading 21-14. George Plaster, Pat Sperduto, Willy Daunic with you for the coverage all around the state of Tennessee. A mid-state battle and a rematch of a game from week 4.
Oh, I like the adjustment. They're going solid.
Remember, in that week for Smyrna, had the lead in the fourth quarter and couldn't hold on.
Hendricks again in a late fumble. And let's see who got it. From the reaction of Ravenwood, Smyrna was able to dive into the pile at the end. Let's take a look and see what really happened.
I think Hendricks gets it back, if I saw this correctly. Good strip by Kleckner.
Oh, yeah.
And it bounced right back to him like a basketball.
Hey, you want those bounces
You
now.
get that true hop.
Bounced right back, hit his leg, came back into his arms.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
All day long.
So 14 yards and a first down for Smyrna. We're in the booze it and lose it red zone. Gray keeps it and dives past the 15. Let's go to the numbers scoreboard through 3 quarters, and this is what we've got.
You look at the yards per play, that's what jumps out. Obviously, the Bulldogs with 7 yards per play.
But the total yards are pretty close. That shows you that the Ravenwood has had the ball a lot. The Raptors have done what they wanted to keep the ball away from Smyrna. It's just really the big difference is the kickoff return.
Absolutely.
91-yard score.
2nd down 8. Gray to Hendricks. This one's going nowhere. A loss of 4 because Isaiah Williams said you're not going anywhere.
And now, again, a 3rd down play, and I look for the Rodriguez-Wilkes matchup. Let's see what Ravenwood will do to it. Great job by the defense. Williams comes in, makes another big play.
Well, that is a great textbook tackle by a big guy, too. Didn't try to knock him silly, just did the job, grabbed him around and did not let go.
All form tackle right there.
If Smyrna's not able to move it at all, it would be a 37-yard field goal attempt, but we're a play away from that. Smyrna 4 of 5 tonight on 3rd downs.
Here comes Kleckner.
They need almost 13. Gray flushed, will run, will get a first down inside the 5.
Big time players, big time plays, big time games.
That is big time stuff, and I'll tell you, that looked like Flutie.
And what he does, he's getting pressure from his right. He flushes and just takes off. And hey, somebody's got to contain. You got to contain.
Well, you could tell the clock was going off in his head. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. Got to get rid of it or go. And he saw that rush come in, and he just took off. That is a huge, huge pickup.
13th play of the drive, and it may be the one that could seal it. Hendricks to the goal line. Yes, he took his sweet time and got tackled, but he did get in.
Yeah, it was a little unsportsman right there.
And there's a flag down.
It's going to be on the defense, even though it shouldn't. Watch right here. He's kind of showboating right now.
And this almost cost him. You talk about playing with fire in a championship game. That's not overly smart.
Yeah, that's too much of a
And I think his teammates are telling him, hey, just get to the end zone.
Hey, we just want to win.
And then get over here to the sideline and we'll celebrate.
So the snap a little bit low, but a good hold. And the extra point is true. And with 9:36 to play, we'll take a look at it. Antoine Hendricks, the 3-yard run, almost played it a little too cute, but nonetheless, Smyrna's up by 14. Well, 22 unanswered has the Smyrna crowd in rhythm. A 28-14 lead. Did you like that?
What was that, the bird? What was that, like a little, the swan?
You know, these guys are excited. So many years, Smyrna just could not get past that Riverdale juggernaut.
What a great story. Philip Shad Owens was picking up trash at the Smyrna, way back when, as a little kid at Smyrna High School. And now, could be leading them to a championship.
They desperately want to keep it away from Michael Ayers. And so Ravenwood will start from their 27. Now let's talk about Ravenwood. They're down 14. You got 9.5 minutes left. Do you have to start to talk about no huddle a little bit?
Well, I'm not sure you have to go no huddle, Pat, but you've got to get Becker out and running. That's what he's comfortable doing. You've got a better chance for big plays that way.
Yeah, moving around, he's never been effective just sitting in the pocket, and that's what what Smyrna's content with letting him do. Stay in the pocket and throw.
Had a false start there, I believe. And you mentioned this, Pat, but Smyrna has, I guess by design, they have tried to keep him in the pocket. They haven't let him break contain.
Right. They're not really pressuring him in the pocket. They're letting him stay in the pocket, and when he goes to break out, that's when the pressure
Dead ball.
comes.
False start on the offense. 5 yards, first down.
This is when you need poise right here if you're Ravenwood.
Right.
You're down, the momentum's going against you. You've got to take a deep breath here and just get a first down or two, get things going. Remember how much momentum has switched in this game. It can switch back to Ravenwood if they can keep their cool.
And think of how far you've came. You've been a 4 seed. You haven't played at home at all.
This is as close to a home game as they've gotten in these playoffs. So now 1st and 15, Becker to the air. Long ball, and that one may have been intercepted, and it was. Picked off by Smyrna's Josh Crouch, who has had a big day.
And listen to that Smyrna crowd. They're going bonkers over there.
Hey, they know that could be the backbreaker right there. That could be the end of the hunt.
Well, the coverage was the right coverage. Crouch was back there. He was expecting the deep throw, and he paid the price. He came down hard on that new turf.
This is his second pick, and to be honest about it, he had a better shot at this ball all along than the receiver.
Right, the receiver needs to become the defender.
Becker's going to sling it. He's saying, come on, break it up. Nope. Well, and you're right. You could see from the early position, it's like a rebounding position in basketball when you got to pass up like that. Crouch is a good receiver as well. He knows how to use his body as a shield. He got the correct position. Looks like he may have came down on the ankle there. And he gets a huge ovation as he makes his way to the sideline.
Right, now it should be 3 yards in a cloud of dust the rest of the way if you're Smyrna.
You can see him come down hard. Might be in the...
I thought he was limping, but I bet you it's his back.
Back or his hip bone,
his
maybe.
hip or his back, the way he came down. Ooh, yeah, that's a painful one.
So now if you're Smyrna, what you'd really like to do is go on a long ball control, clock-consuming drive.
3 yards in a cloud of dust. Or rubber.
That's not.
Gray does the smart thing and just simply goes down at the 35.
We mentioned Sonny Gray is a good baseball player.
Great baseball player.
Pat, that was like the shortstop on an in-between hop. He did a good job scooping that ball up.
Took the short hop, scooped it up, worked the crow hop, but didn't have to throw it.
A couple of low snaps there.
Officially, Gray will lose 3 on the play, but Sonny Gray tonight, poise has been a big part of it. 8 of 10 throwing for 109. The running game has been good for him as well. Gray 11 carries, 48 yards.
And key carries too.
Yes.
Special high school player right there, and he's only a junior.
Hendricks may have gotten a yard, but no more than that to the 35. Bo Gilroy, an outside linebacker, swallowed him up. But right now for Smyrna, it's just as important that they keep that clock moving as we approach 8 minutes to play.
Protect the ball, get what you can, try to move the chains. Don't be surprised. I wouldn't be afraid to let Sonny give him a run-pass option. Right
I was thinking the same thing. You've got to put the ball and the play in Gray's hands here. He's your best player. You got to let him get the job done, and that's what I'm thinking if I'm a Ravenwood linebacker. I've got to shadow Sonny Gray.
Play clock down to 1. They just did get it off, and it was a pretty darn good one. Good enough for a first down. 13 for Antoine Hendricks. Bo Gilroy, the tackler, but he had to tackle him way too late.
It shows you how smart we are, Pat. They ran it right up the gut, and they got exactly what they needed. This is disappointing for Ravenwood.
Oh, yeah, it's demoralizing right there. It's demoralizing. Ravenwood was thinking pass, too.
And that potentially is a 2-minute play on the clock.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you don't make the tackle and you're not able to hold them, then the ground game, the ball control continues. 7.5 to play. The concern obvious on Brian Rector's face. Smyrna has gotten it done tonight on offense. Those 19 first downs, an impressive number.
How about the two backs? You got to talk about the two backs with Maceo Harris and Antoine Hendricks. They have grounded out and made this game balanced for Smyrna.
Hendricks well over 100 yards now, 15 carries, 111 his numbers. Laidlaw in the second half on Ravenwood's side has sort of been taken out of the game a little bit.
Right, well, it's because of the score too. But you look at our keys to the game, it's been true. I mean, balance and composure. They've had both of them. They believe.
And well, they should. Hendricks, shot out of a cannon. The question, can he go the distance? Nope. Brought down inside the 10. Scott Ford, a good hustling play to save the touchdown, but 43 yards for Antoine Hendricks.
Well, if you watch this play, there's no red jerseys in the middle. Where is everybody? He breaks that first wave, and then there's nobody back there. A gambling play by the Raptor defense, and they paid for it with the right play call made by Smyrna.
And that's Coach Rector. That's his MO. He is going to gamble.
Smyrna again in the booze it and lose it red zone.
They could pretty much seal the deal if they can punch it in here.
I agree.
Both teams have done very well tonight when they've gotten in there.
And I don't see that's motion on the offense. I don't see Rodriguez Wilkes out there. Oh, they got delay a game. Back judge.
Dead ball foul. Delay a game on the offense. 5 yards. First down. First and goal.
And I don't see Rodriguez Wilkes out there. That's one of the matchups that they got to try to find. Oh, here he is.
Saw Philip Shadowens there. He is thinking 6:03. Got to take it home here. He hasn't probably let himself dream about holding that state championship trophy. He's been battling. He's had a lot of good teams over the years. First visit to the finals.
First and goal, Hendricks. Inside, did he pay a price at the 10? You ask who was the sticker? Bo Gilroy, the sticky being Hendricks, who paid dearly.
And Isaiah Williams, too. He got himself a little nibbling.
Isaiah Williams finishes him off. You talk about driving a guy into the turf. There he is right here. He comes in late, and then helmet to the chest.
Yeah, it was actually Isaiah Williams who put the punishing hit on.
He got the finishing touches.
Boy, did he ever.
Clock moving.
Here comes a pass.
They lob it for Wilkes. Who else? That time, good defensive play by George Tanifin.
Tanifin keeps leverage this time, stays inside of him, and times his jump correctly.
And still, Wilkes had a shot at it. Watch this. I believe this ball is going to hit him right in the dome. Watch this. It's going to hit right in the face mask. Bang.
See, actually, he turns his hands the wrong way. You see, his hands are with palms up. It should have been palms down.
He feels like he should have had it.
Pretty good eyes, Dad. By the way, Willy Daunic is watching tonight.
Well,
you might want to say hello to her.
She may have been watching the first episode. It's past her bedtime if she's still watching. She is only 4.
I say let her watch.
Oh, the Sperduto kid's up. That's what we want to know.
Guaranteed.
And what they're seeing is the touchdown run that may ice it.
Oh, Smyrna's going to be partying all night long.
Antoine Hendricks from 10 yards to pay dirt. And it's now 28 unanswered with an extra point coming.
How about the Smyrna community? They will be partying for weeks to come. And what a great story. You got to feel good for Sonny Gray. I'm just so happy for him.
Osford nails the extra point. It has been all Smyrna since about the midway mark of the second period. They were down 14-6, 29 unanswered, have them cruising toward a state title.
Well, here's a look at Hendricks taking it outside, just outruns the pursuit. It's sort of a tired Raptor defense right now. They just don't have enough in the tank. And you go back to the interception that was made by Josh Day. If you want to look at the turning point, Ravenwood had the momentum. They hit the bomb to get out of their own territory. They were knocking on the door. And on that third down play, Josh Day made the great interception. And Smyrna was able to take it down all the way to the other end and cash in. And they just haven't been able to answer. So there's your answer. Look at Hendricks. He's got the hairdo. It's a variation, but he's got the hairdo.
All right, we're going to give it to him.
Pat, I want to ask you about something that the Smyrna team did earlier this year. Riverdale took them behind the woodshed and beat them 49-0. Now, you get to playoff time, and all of a sudden there's Riverdale again, and Smyrna's able to win 9-7. Give me what you would have to do as a coach to get your team to believe that 49-0 was a fluke.
Well, you played so well up until that point. If you go back and you look at their path, I mean, until they got to Riverdale, they were, what, 6-1, and they knew they had a chance to be special. Riverdale got them and just jumped out from the onset. Everything went the wrong way. You just tell them, hey, it went the wrong way, move on, go to the next week. And since then, they've gone on to the next week.
A giant second half for Antoine Hendricks.
And they got to feel good. If you think about this, they got to feel good because Riverdale has been the bully in Murfreesboro for a long time.
Kick taken by one of the upbacks, and it's going to be a very good return, and it may go for even more.
They lost it.
So if Smyrna got this game's over.
They're acting like they've got it, and yes, indeed, they do. Football recovered by Smyrna at the 38-yard line.
And how many times do you see it? 10 of them. He's been working hard in that corner all day long. He's had a tough matchup, just trying to get a little second effort. He's tired. He's trying to make a big play for his team, and on the second effort, he loses the ball at the last second.
That happens so often, you know it. Just a good rip right there by number 9 for Smyrna. That's Will Martin. He rips it out. The junior gets it out, and there you go. And falls on it to boot.
So now you're really going to see Smyrna, after this third Ravenwood turnover, go ball control exclusively. Antoine Hendricks, get ready. You're going to get a dose of him. There he goes. Off to the races. To the corner. Inside the 10. Adam Presley brought him down. This kid's headed toward 200.
And the funny thing is, Maceo Harris really came in as their ground eater, as their gobble up the yards type of guy. But the feature tonight, Mr. Hendricks.
Yeah, 2 seniors. Harris had 1,300 yards during the regular season, or to this point in the year. Hendricks only 837, but Hendricks has become the workhorse tonight, running behind those big hosses on that line. And it's like the Ravenwood trees are falling in the forest here. They're getting a little tired.
The booze it and lose it red zone is where Smyrna's made a living tonight. Antoine Hendricks with that run, 20 carries, 202 yards. Maybe sniffing his third touchdown. Instead, that ball may be loose.
David Sanders, not used very often, puts it on the ground.
And Ravenwood does come up with it at its own 1.
Something is wrong. Something had to have been wrong with Maceo Harris. He has to be hurt not to be on the field. Hendricks was playing so much, you got to feel like he must be out of the game. So if that's the case, and Hendricks gets tired, I'd keep it in the hands of Sonny Gray.
Well, Sanders is sniffing the end zone here. He thinks he's got a shot to score.
Isaiah Williams rips that one out.
Good fight by Ravenwood, not quitting.
And now Ravenwood out of the shadow of their end zone. Becker gives to Laidlaw, and there's absolutely nothing. He got an inch over the goal line to keep it from being a safety.
I thought that was offsides on the defense. It looks like they hit the gap a little bit early.
They timed it well if they didn't jump.
We're going to find out right now.
Well, they timed it.
Very close.
Great time. That's Day again. He's made a bunch of big defensive plays, hasn't he?
Key guy on this team all year long. Leading tackler, 19 sacks. Big interception in this game.
Second down, Laidlaw. Gets to about the 5, but no more than that.
Have to be thinking about Day. as your defensive MVP.
Yes.
The offensive MVP is now a toss-up with Hendricks over 200 yards. Rod Wilkes was the key player in the first half.
And then Sonny Gray. How can you not go
Sonny Gray has been outstanding. Could be a three-headed monster.
Sonny Gray tonight, 8 of 11. Now Becker to the air, needs a big one for Ayers, and he ran into triple coverage at his 40-yard line, and he got clobbered on the play.
Now, did the contact come just a hair early?
It looked like it
close
to me again. I'm going to take a peek right here. I think Wilkes gets there. Well, there's the quarterback paying the price, but I want to see if the defender got there early. What do you think, Willie?
Yep. I thought he got there just a hair
Good
early.
call, Willie.
It's about as simultaneous as you can get, but I thought the hit came just before the ball arrived.
Yep. I agree with you 100%.
On 4th and 6, Ravenwood is going to basically say, look, we're not going to go for it. We're going to kick the football, but Smyrna not so sure. They've got nobody deep. And this is a low-line drive. It'll be caught by Wilkes at the 39, and that's where he'll go down.
So Wilkes backpedaled to grab that, and now you wonder if Smyrna will just run it straight ahead here, keep that clock moving. Almost Ravenwood has to be conceding if they're going to punt it there.
Well, while we've got a moment, why don't we take a look at what is the crystal sack of the game. This is going to be Paul Kleckner from Ravenwood, and that's one of the few times tonight that they've had Sonny Gray's number.
Well, that was on that opening drive of the second half. That gave Ravenwood a lot of life.
If this is Hendricks again, holy cow. Hendricks for about 15, and his numbers just keep skyrocketing. 21 carries, 217 for this very talented senior who came in
as a backup.
Yeah, billed as the backup. I mean, give me a break. What do you have to be the starter?
All right, Pat, the debate's on. Is he the player of the game? I think he got most of it done when Smyrna had the lead. He's closed the game out.
Right, he's the closer. He's like your relief pitcher.
So is it Gray or is it Wilkes?
I got to go with Gray because he just made so many big plays. I mean, the throws were fantastic. The only thing Wilkes got on him is the kick return, which really put him back in the game.
First down from the 25. Hendricks, that may have been a mercy tackle to get him down there.
Well, I'll make the argument for Wilkes. They're down 14-6.
And he takes the kick
And he takes the kickoff. And there were all kinds of coaches that were saying Smyrna is so dangerous in the kick return game that they shouldn't kick to him. That was the one time they kicked to him, and he takes it 91 yards. That really turned the momentum back towards Smyrna. Plus 2 other touchdown catches. Well, I got to go with Rod Wilkes as my player of the game. But it's a tough vote. George might have to break the tie.
They took Sonny Gray out, new quarterback in.
And Gray gets a huge ovation. Remember, he's only a junior. He'll be back next year.
That time.
Hendricks is like, take me out too.
That was not their smoothest play of the night.
Let me get a little cheer from the crowd.
There's Sonny Gray.
What a great story. God bless him. What, seriously.
His dad was one of 4 brothers that all grew up in the Smyrna area. As Pat mentioned before, a tragic accident a couple of years ago took his father. One of his uncles passed away from brain cancer. It's been a real strong family over the years. And boy, they have got to be very proud tonight.
You know he's thinking about those 2. We're getting near the final minute of the game. Officially, this will be 3rd and 15. They're going to run it, and they're going to come up way short. I want to take a moment before we go any farther. Thank some folks tonight who have been a part of all this. Our statisticians who have tried to make us look good. They've done the best they could with limited talent. Joe McNish and Skip McMillan. They did their best to try to make us look good. Jacob Underwood was our spotter. He tried mightily. They all tried. Willie, what can you say?
There's only so much they can do.
They had very little to work with, but our thanks to them, and thanks to the entire crew downstairs for the job. Yeah.
Ooh.
And look at that man on the sideline. Philip Shad-Owens, he can now celebrate. Boy, it's been a long battle.
This is a 4th down play that will turn the ball over on downs to Ravenwood. Smyrna could care less because the celebration begins. The Gatorade bath for Sonny Gray. The smiles all over.
You got it, Willie. Rod Wilkes, player of the game.
Well, and he was voted the MVP up here in the press box as well offensively. Josh Day, indeed, is the defensive MVP. Here's the plays by Wilkes. Anytime they needed to get some yardage and get a big play, they were able to get it to Wilkes. Now here's the big kickoff return with the 1 cut. He gets the great block.
Golly, number 4 with a punishing block. That's Hendricks. Hendricks made that block.
So we mentioned Josh Day and the great game he had on the defensive side. 13 tackles, 2 sacks, an interception, and 3 tackles for loss. What a tremendous game.
Well, hold on.
Just another day at the office.
He actually sold some programs.
Oh, he did? Okay, we didn't write that down.
Yeah, I
we
saw him
have.
doing that.
Now there is the Gatorade stain. Now that is a victorious coach. Anytime you see a coach, if you're just tuning on and he's got the splotch on the back, that means it was a direct hit by the Gatorade. That one might have glanced off a little bit. That may not have been as direct as they wanted.
How about they put Hendricks back out there? Hendricks is like, why? We don't got anybody else, Antoine.
Becker just simply throws that one out of bounds. Pat, isn't the Gatorade thing a whole lot easier to withstand indoors?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that made for the Arena League?
Now, I don't know if they made contact with the head there. They may have just got the back. He may have been able to wriggle out of that.
You see how they do it, though. They got the setup man. The setup man is the guy, usually one of his favorite players. He comes up to him face to face, gives him a big hug, makes sure his head's facing the other way, and then the creepers come up. The creepers come up with the Gatorade. You got to have 2 of them, too. And they got to make sure they get the bottom. The key is if you're on the left side, okay, of the Gatorade, you got to make sure your right hand's underneath the back. And if you're on the right side, your left hand has to be underneath the back.
Don't you think you've spent a little too much time thinking about that?
I've done it. I've been the dumper. I've never been the dumpee yet.
Do you have dumping practice?
We didn't have dumping practice, but I remember it was fun. When you win a championship, there's nothing greater, I'm telling you.
I would think it'd be doubly special if it happened in the booze it and lose it red zone. Becker to the air and throws it way over the head of the intended receiver. We've had a lot of fun tonight. Hopefully we have not completely lost you with all of this.
Or annoyed anybody. That's the key.
Let's take a moment, too, and congratulate all the champions. Great football played from the Knoxville area with Alcoa, Fulton, and Maryville sweeping through the mid-state teams. And then Jackson Christian in Class A with their first ever title.
Yeah, that Maryville squad, oh boy. That was an impressive group.
And the 4th down throw kind of says the way the night is gone for Ravenwood.
Yeah, pretty much take a knee and enjoy yourself.
So let me ask you this. Maryville, with their 45th consecutive victory in this long streak, are they the best team in Tennessee?
I have to be honest.
The debate will go on throughout the offseason.
I think they will. I mean, I think the Smyrna team is a good football team, but I really think Maryville was probably the most. Alcoa was impressive, too, to me. I thought they were pretty fantastic.
Awfully good football in a small area over near Knoxville. And let's also say Brian Record and Ravenwood 1-3 made a great run to get here. They're going to come up short, and Smyrna's going to take the title.
Well, this has got to be an unbelievable feeling for Coach Shadow.
I bet you it will be an emotional interview with Rachel. When she gets him, it's going to be emotional, I guarantee you.
An alumnus of the school, was later an assistant coach, got the head coaching job back in the 90s. Let's send it downstairs. Rachel has the happy, victorious head coach.
Coach, your offense really turned it up in this second half, especially Sonny Gray. Tell me, how does this championship, how do you feel for you and your team?
It's an unbelievable feeling. Words can't express it right now. Been in Smyrna all my life, and something we dreamed about for a long time, and just so happy for our kids. Our kids believed in what we were doing, and that's been our motto this whole playoff is, I believe. And it takes every man to believe in it, and our kids believed in it tonight. Sonny Gray was unbelievable, by the way. Sonny Gray was unbelievable, along with a bunch of other kids.
Thank you so much, Coach. Back to you guys.
Well, he's right about that belief part, Pat. I go back to the Riverdale thing. They get ripped to shreds in game 1 and yet have enough belief late to go into the playoffs and win an absolute nail-biter, 9-7. That has to be a big part of all this for them.
And you know what? He's going to have a pretty good football team next year, too, led by a dynamic quarterback in Sonny Gray.
You think there's going to be some fun that's to be had in Smyrna tonight?
Smyrna is going to be partying to the midnight hour.
Well, let's tell some people around the state. Smyrna is about a 10-mile walk from where we are. About a 10-mile drive from Smyrna to Murfreesboro. So if you're driving on the interstate and you see some people walking and having a good time, that may be what's going on.
Yeah,
you're going to see some purple and gold.
Hey, let me say this, though. You got to realize I did them week 0, and I was so impressed with them. They had a little stumbling block with Riverdale, obviously, but, hey, great job. Smyrna deserves it.
We will have more of the celebration in just a moment. The Smyrna Bulldogs are your 5A champion. They win it going away. Well, there is the hardware that makes all of those weeks of preparation back in late July and early August suddenly seem worth it. Smyrna, 29 unanswered points en route to a convincing 5A state championship victory over Ravenwood. Pat, when we kind of knew this matchup was coming a week ago, is this the way you thought it would go?
No, you know, I thought it'd be a little tighter game. I thought Ravenwood with a little bit of experience would have kept it close. But like I said, week 0, a good friend of mine, Joe Williams, and we talked about Smyrna being the best team in 5A. I really, you know, I hadn't seen Riverdale yet, but I thought they would be this good.
Well, and on the other side, we mentioned it briefly, but Ravenwood, 1-3, the defending state champions. They get it together, and they go on this tremendous run where they win 4 road games to get here. A wild ride, and they are to be commended. They were in position. This game was a lot closer than the final score, but Smyrna just a little bit better tonight.
There you see part of the celebration. It's got to feel very good for him. It's his school, him being Philip Shadowins.
The little man got one too. They clipped him up.
There might be some other teams that try that next year.
It is a fabulous moment for Smyrna. It's been a great 48 hours of football for us, beginning yesterday afternoon around 3:30 with the 1A. And speaking of that, why don't we relive some of the memories of 5 great football games, the state titles here in Tennessee.